What you watching?
Oh, I'm watching Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast, as you should, on YouTube.
Wow. My friend, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast on YouTube, the best. Check it out.
Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast.
Hey, I want a shirt, I want a shirt, look. La camisa está linda, loco. La camisita está linda. Beautiful shirt.
Motherhood, sex, marijuana in the motherfucking building. Yes. Recording in progress. You know what I'm saying? The guest is in the building. Ruby ain't in the building yet, but she assured me she would be. And at this point, I'm going to continue the show. Well, you know, I'm going to get the show on and popping. That's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it's got to be. And, you know what I'm saying? It's what it is what it is. It's what it's got to be. You know what I mean? Kai Storm in the building. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the building. Let me bring this up here. You know what I'm saying? And today's guest is Power in Her Flower. We had a previous conversation with Kayla Power in Her Flower. Well, yeah, that's her name. Her name is Kayla, and her Instagram line is Power in Her Flower. We had a previous discussion with her, and she wanted to come back because not only does she trust this as a safe space, but she had some more things to discuss, and we already told her she could come back. So here she is. Let's get it in. Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the building. Hopefully Ruby shows up. If she doesn't, we still got a good show to get to. Let's get it. All right. Let me get the Sparky over here. Let me get the Sparky. Wait. I thought I let her in the room. Oh, he's joining. He's taking his time to let her in. Okay, no problem. The security is checking her for guns. I mean, security is checking you for guns. Shit. Hey, Queen. What's good? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
All right. What's good with your motherhood, sex, marijuana in the motherfucking building? I'm not sure if Ruby is going to join us. I believe she is, because she definitely indicated that, she wanted to come back in and talk to you as well. But life be lifing, so who to knows if she might be busy with the baby. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I ain't going front. Girl, once I got my 3 trophies and I passed the 3-year, 4-year, and we going to school and we know how to describe things about what's going on with ourselves, and we can and we don't need diapers. Shit, I ain't never going back to that fuck shit. I got the trophies, so I already know. I remember them days when those type of things would keep you busy, and all kinds of things will pop up. And being that also too, she's on the West Coast, it's still early on her line, so you know what I mean, kids might not be asleep yet, all kind of things are going on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that she will join, but if she doesn't, it's all good. But anyway, honey, how are you doing?
Good, good. Motherhood, sex, marijuana is in the building on the West Coast.
Yes, indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
yeah, I'm doing it's been a little bit rough, but I'm focusing on me, and like you said, diamonds are created under pressure. So,
Definitely.
I'm trying to, pull through here in the middle of nowhere. So that's all I can do for right now.
I feel you, you know what I mean? And the fact is that motherhood in itself is a situation that, you know what I'm saying, there's definitely times you gotta pull through. You know what I mean? You gotta, find the strength from within. You gotta, you know what I mean? Have something inside of you that continuously encourages you to move on. Never mind the fact that I've always said it, even on this podcast, that society in itself, especially since COVID, has been encouraging depression, encouraging people to just feel some type of way, and just encouraging the deleting of yourself, or thinking about deleting yourself, just negative thoughts brewing, just literally just continue to brew. And it's like, that's the bottom line. That's what's keeping the pharmaceutical company, rich. That's what's keeping these commercials on, talking about, you got to get the vaccine. You got to get the vaccine. All that bullshit is going on because they want to keep us depressed and on fucking pharmaceutical drugs. So, I definitely get that on a daily basis. It's hard to encourage yourself based on everything that's going on. But let me, you know what I mean? I want people to know that, yes, that you've been on the show before, and you were discussing things that were going on with your motherhood. So tell us, give us an update of where you at now.
Ooh, all right. So I left off on the episode. I kind of, said a little bit, some juicy details about my life and how I've got here. Since then, I'm grieving the abandonment of my mother that was here helping me, and she had only stayed for 2 months. And when I was in Vegas, she found a way to make it back home to New York. And so having my support system really, really confined to just my husband has been really tough on us. And having really no strong family support other than my brother, he's great.
Right.
But from the elders, the people that have already done this, it's just pretty shitty that everyone decided to look at the mirror a little too hard and a little too long, instead of just showing up for my humanity as a new mom. And so having to grieve that has been really, really depressing and rough.
Wow.
And, thankfully I have cannabis to self-soothe and, bring me back to my self-worth as an adult, as their daughter. I can only do so much. And I realized I just have to stop grieving my parents' failures, especially as a new mom, because if I don't, I'm still going to follow the generational trauma cycle. So having to, yet again, unpack that during my motherhood, postpartum, it's just not right. And, I'm just trying to not hold so much anger and just trying to focus on me and my dreams, because I've taken myself so far, and I'm really proud of that.
Definitely.
And I blossomed through this birth, and I blossomed out here in the West Coast, and I can blossom anywhere, really. So that's the power of your own flower.
Word.
You can blossom anywhere if you put your mind to it. You have your own mindset. and you're not a sheep, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's been a thing. I've been focusing outside in the garden. I created a I created a free bleed garden. So
Okay.
like basically you would just, you know, I have this bench my husband put together,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a hole in the middle, and if you wanted to sit and you know, free bleed, you would have a safe space to, you know, empty what you dispense. And
Oh.
it's just another way to, like, you know, I really did not, it was basically I had a psychological birth.
Mm-hmm.
So continuing with that, I had a lotus birth, so where I kept the placenta, and then I have it here, and I'm just waiting for a certain plant to use the soil with.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, I wanted to continue this message of womanhood and how our periods, our menstruation is not, it's not taboo. It should be talked about, it should be celebrated. You know, women should have their own space. And it just goes back to how we treat women
Oh
and
yeah, I
how
definitely
women
like
treat
that.
each
I
other.
like that.
So like, I don't know. I just thought like to do something, I don't know, just to create like inspiration. Like you can create your own garden and, you know, put your own blood, your own period blood, you know, and you're connecting with yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing gross, and it's nothing like taboo or disgusting. It's just, I
It's a
only did
way
it
of
once.
recycling it. It's a way of
Yeah.
recycling it.
And
And honestly, you know, because you're on the West Coast, you know, the ability to grow, you know, plants in and grow naturally is definitely more open than being on the East Coast. That's one thing.
yeah,
So, and then just, you know, generating an idea to recycle, you know, is something like that. To recycle your menstruation is really, you know, a genuine idea, especially because I'm thinking to myself, you know, I mean, we recycle everything at this point. We recycle everything. And
right.
you know what I mean? And I
Dry.
remember back in the days, I mean, thank goodness I don't get my period anymore. Lord knows I don't want to see that girl ever again unless she
Congrats to
only come
you.
here to visit the 14-year-old. She don't need to come see me no more. But what I'm saying is, you know, the whole thought of the free flow, I definitely like that because, you know what I mean, as a used to be person that used to wear, you know, pads, tampons, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
first and
Same.
foremost, we, you know, as women, we all talk about, you know, what type of tampons and pads, you know, that they put out in you know, on regular basis anyway. Like some of them, you know, they're not genuinely healthy or genuinely good for your pH when, you know, when it comes to your vagina. Never mind the fact that, you know what I mean, the ones that they make that are supposed to be better than the ones that they usually sell in the store, even those are ridiculously expensive. So and even and none of those talk about, even when you watch those commercials, when they you know, advertise these products, they don't talk about the fact that, you know, that, you know, they are uncomfortable. They literally feel uncomfortable, no matter whether it's inside or just or whether it's a thin flap, whatever, it's all uncomfortable. And you know what I mean. And me, one of the main things I remembered about my period is that I would just, I like, the only time I felt good about it was when I was in the shower, when I'm like, you know, washing myself and it's just free flowing outside of me, and it's like, okay, like that's the time when I felt the most fresh. So to actually have a garden where that you could, you know, free flow, you could, you know, sit and free flow, that's a good thing, especially, you know, that also could be a therapeutic thing for like a mom that, you know, just gave birth, because we all know when we just give birth, you know, we're bleeding for a good 4 to 6 weeks. So that, you know, that kind of thing, to have, you know, to actually be able to have a way to recycle it is definitely It's definitely a more humane way to deal with it, and a more positive way to deal with it, because it makes you feel like it's being used to grow your plants, and you know what type of soil you use to grow your plants. Now I want to talk about a little bit about the family the family orientation you have around you now. When you first before you got pregnant, or like once like during your pregnancy, did you discuss this with your family? Did they like give you like, or do you feel like they gave you some sort of false hope that they would be there throughout thick and thin? And did you kind of tell yourself to depend on that? Or how did that whole thing come about, that that your support group was said that they were going to be there, then, and now they kind of like backing up, and how did how did y'all come up to that decision? And also, what made you think that should be the only foundation for your your pregnancy and dealing with your first birth? Like, how did that work out?
So, good question. Unfortunately, it was met. So me and my husband, my nesting partner, my union, whatever. And I say that because we're just going through so much, and throwing out the title of husband and wife is just too heavy for us.
Right.
So with the support, we went into it like immediately, like, okay, like we can do this. Well, I was like, I can do this on my own, and and we'll go see how it goes. And so, like, when we announced that I was pregnant and what our plans were, I was met with a lot of hesitation, a lot of backdraw, a lot of unsolicited opinions. I had gotten a whole email from my mother-in-law. She did not pick up the phone. She didn't want to talk to me. I got an email. That was level, and then their excuse was, well, that's how they communicate. Okay, it's 2022 or 2021 at the time. You only want to communicate through email to me?
Never mind the fact that we family. I mean, there was a time and date where there was a date and time where back in the days where a motherfucker had to pick up the phone, or you know what I'm saying? You had to pick up the phone and say, hey, look at here, I got a problem with you, and I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna meet you, and I'm gonna pull up. You feel me? Like, what that I'm just saying, like, your mother-in-law, like
my mother-in-law in New York.
That's a phone call. That's definitely a phone call, but go ahead.
Yeah, so at that point I was livid. I was just like, this is not okay. It does not feel right. And everything was said was, I mean, the title of the email was literally subject unsolicited opinion. So like, I clearly had a choice into reading it, but I was like, the audacity, like the audacity. And so like, that was that. I never talked to anyone from that family from there. And then with my own family, my brother did not talk to me until I gave birth. So I did not have his support whatsoever throughout my pregnancy. My mother distanced herself because she felt like I was harming more than and trying to prove myself. Instead of, yet again, just meeting me at my humanity.
Right.
And then I was not talking to my father whatsoever. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the family that I communicated to. And I think I didn't like announce it on my socials until like I was like 6 months. because I had actually had a period of time where I thought I had miscarried. So like for a month and a half, we sat there thinking that I had miscarried. And then I had reconnected with my cousin and she was like, I think you're still pregnant. So that actually was true. And she gave me the courage, and like she brought back the spirit for me.
Oh, wow.
You know, she brought back like, hey, Kayla, like, I think you just need to reevaluate. I think you just, because like I was just Googling everything. And that was just not, it was not okay. It was horrible because like I was doing things out of the norm and there was really no support. And I was using cannabis. So like there's no support for that. Until later on, you know,
Let me, not to cut you off, but if I remember, you didn't actually, because you didn't actually go to the doctor at all during your pregnancy, right?
Correct.
Right. Yes. That's right. I remember that. That's right. And see that, and of course, now, because I was about to ask you, you know, what was their problem? But I guess, but I can get what the problem is that they heard your plans. And they automatically did not agree with your plans, and then the fact is they knew that, you know, you're definitely doing cannabis, so in their head they're going with all the, you know, the stereotypes and all the fuck shit that people been saying about weed and pregnancy and all of that. So they just, you know, so they was talking shit from Jump Street. I get it.
Oh yeah.
They damn sure was talking shit from Jump Street. Oh yes. Okay. And you know what? That alone says that you're a strong woman, because the fact is, like, I do remember, if I'm correct, I have to go back and listen to the video again, but I'm sure I remember I said to you, I was like, yo, as a woman, you know, as a grown ass woman deciding that you're not going to go to any doctor and throughout your whole pregnancy, but I am sure you got a whole lot of backlash. So I could just imagine. And then this woman decided to write you a whole email. Child, you could have blocked and deleted that shit. You could have hit block and delete before you even read that shit, but you read that shit just to see what type of fuck shit you saying. Because again, yes, all my kids, I damn sure went to the doctor. Best believe I went to the doctor. And if my oldest daughter got pregnant, I'd be trying to encourage her to go to the doctor. But at the same time, I'm looking at her like, yo, if she decided in her grown ass age, first of all, I wasn't there when she was fucking. So if she decided in her grown ass age that she was going to handle her pregnancy, how she handled her pregnancy, who am I to fucking, who the fuck? Because I'm pretty, I mean, I don't think we even asked you in the last recording how old you are, but the fact is, you seem to me as a very much over 21-year-old, I'm paying my own bills, fuck out of here type of woman. I'm just saying.
34 on December 2nd. I'm a Sagittarius.
See? So therefore, and your baby is still under 2, right?
Yeah, 16 months.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So this is all recent, and I can just imagine the type of backlash based on what you're describing. So how did they determine that they decided to come and support you, and then decided to leave you in that support? That's the part I'm trying to get to. Like they obviously changed their mind at some point.
They're like, oh, she did it. It worked out.
Oh, wow.
She did it. All right. And then that was it.
Oh, wow.
That's all it took. And then slowly I started getting things and started people like checking in, and then, you know, seeing what I needed. And then after a month after I gave birth, I had gotten married. I had ordained my mom to she got ordained to marry us. So nice. We had a little small, his my husband or my partner's parents, they flew in, and they were our guests, our witnesses,
right,
And so that was pretty intimate, and which I liked. And then they were there for a couple days. I took them to a dispensary, and they bought a cookie, and I think they shared it. And I think we were in Shelton, which is like a half hour north of Olympia,
Okay.
the small town. And they had an okay time, decent time. They were just kind of like very reserved, but very curious. So that was cool. And then we got a lot of stuff sent to us via Amazon. They bought us a car seat, and I considered us very not thriving, in wealth at the time. I would consider the living conditions pretty rare and probably not ideal. Because we were like literally our fifth wheel, our 24 fifth wheel was parked behind like some abandoned warehouse. So like it just was like kind of odd, and like, and it added to like my stress of like, this is not how I want to raise my child right now.
Right.
And then like he really wanted to support us in our living situation. So then that's how we ended up back down in Nevada. And then when when my husband lost his job at the ski resort, because they cut his pay by $10 an hour, and that was like pretty devastating for us, since
Of course.
we had gotten an RV spot in California. So like that was like $800 just for an RV spot.
Whoa.
So like, and then we had to actually get that in order to get the job. But then the job, like a month and a half later, slashed his pay $10.
Wow.
Because they messed up, because the hiring manager messed up. So then we were like, where are we gonna go? It's like the winter. And we pulled out right before they had the huge storm, and then we had to go to New York because I didn't know where to stay during the winter. And then the support there, which both families are in New York, the support was just shitty. Just I had, the grandmother, my husband's grandmother would just send shit, boxes after boxes after boxes, just whatever. It didn't matter if it was going to be used now or later. It just box after box. And so, and then like no one wanted to come visit me, literally nobody. Right. I was down the road from a friend, and no one came to see me. No one wanted to talk to me. Except for one friend. I went to travel to see her, and that was what I needed. I just needed womanship. I needed friendship. I needed womanhood. I needed other mothers, other women, other friends, females.
Right.
I needed community. I just needed someone to say, hey, you just went through all of this, and then you traveled across country with a 5-month-old.
Right. Like that's a lot.
Like, I went from Washington to Cali to Nevada to New York in just a short amount of time. And like everyone's like, oh, it must be nice to travel.
It's like, nah, I'm moving. I'm literally moving because I ain't got no choice.
It must be good. You clearly got money to travel, and you made it here. You're at your brother's. Well, I'm at my brother's. My brother didn't know how to show up for me either at the time.
Well, that also kind of makes sense. That also kind of makes sense based on the fact that, if he don't have kids himself or how to deal with kids, he like, why the fuck I'm taking care of other grown people? And not for nothing, I'm pretty sure the time that you were in New York, it was pretty hard based on the fact that New York is expensive as fuck. Shit, I know, I live here. So, you know what I mean? Everything is, just a visit to the supermarket pisses me off. Not for nothing. So I get it.
The support has been real shitty, and that's why I've been really heavily leaning on my online support and reaching out and pushing my story out there, because this shit has been fucked. Like, this shit's fucked. Like, I don't know who the heck would put anyone through this. Like, this is bad, guys. Like, I'm a new mom. Like, y'all could have just met me at my humanity. I'm not asking to be taken care of fully, but guess what? Mothers, that's why mothers are the way they are, because we haven't been fully supported from the get-go.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
I'm trying to change that. Like, my support is not just you buying me whatever. Like, my support is just coming, sitting with me, taking my baby, bonding with her, you know, teaching her something. Don't teach her something. Just shoot the shit. I don't care.
Right.
Like, bring out your inner child. I feel like that's what it's hard.
And I get it.
I'm
It's definitely something, you know what I mean, where you want a community around you to support you. And it's not just financially, it's emotionally, you know what I mean, it's mentally, you know what I mean, just like you said, just having somebody to shoot the shit with, you know what I mean. So and reaching out to your online, you know, support group as far as people that you know online is definitely a way. But let me ask you about, you know, another way to handle it, because I myself, one of the things that I did with certain things in my past, I handled them by writing them down. So have you ever thought about writing a book? And I'm telling you, when I say that is because I tried that myself. Like when it came to, like, you know, yes, like out of the books, like I don't know if you know, but I've written at least 5 books. And published on Amazon, definitely. Wow. And one of the books that I've written, I wrote it because it was a story about my life, and I just and literally is because it was something going on with me at the time that, you know what I mean, in order for me to deal with it, in order for me to get past it, in order for me to grow into something else, I had to put it down on paper. You know what I mean? And trust and believe when I tell you that, yes, it sounds like, oh, really? Writing a book sounds hard. Nah, it's really not. It's really just putting everything, you know, it's a way of, you know, of just getting all the thoughts out, putting it all on paper, and just, you know what I mean, and just expressing whatever's on your mind about that subject. And honestly, your story, just based on the fact that, you know, you made the decision, that you and your husband made the decision to, you know, forego, you know, the pharmaceutical company, forego the doctors, for, you know what I'm saying, handling it in your way herbally. That's a story that needs to be told to people. That's a story that people definitely need to hear. And you know what I mean? And even if you, and how I feel about my books is like, although it wasn't, they weren't on the best, they wasn't on no bestseller list or nothing like that, but at least the few people that read them understood the story that I was telling, and you know, it felt good and got something out of that story. So I'm thinking, based on what you're telling me, writing a book would be definitely a good idea. Have you thought about it?
Yes. And that's why I fucking love your ass, because like, you're so inspirational. Like, I've been really drawn to you, and then to find out you're my Panamanian sister, like I was like, yo, like, and she's from New York. I was like, this is like, there's something here. Like, but like after I gave birth and I was heavily writing, like we have traveled through my husband's work, and we did like over 40,000 miles. And I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of observing, and I journaled, I wrote, I took pictures, and I had a lot of imposter syndrome, because like I didn't want to be like another RVer, and I didn't want to be like throw my privilege out there.
Right.
And it was such a sensitive time. and I was getting misunderstood because every time I posted something, people were like, well, what do you do? What are you doing? What do you do for work? And I'm like,
and shit, and that's like, first of all, bitch, that's none of your motherfucking business. You want to drop some money in my Cash App? Wait a minute, no, because I got Cash App and Zelle and all these good things, PayPal. You can donate because what I do is get money from your bitch ass. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get money from your bitch ass asking me my business. No, first of all, but at the same time, think about it though, because if you are on your social media talking about places you traveled and things that you've experienced while traveling, you know for a fact that people actually make good money blogging about that. Never mind, having a YouTube channel showing shit like that, and you know what I'm saying, and yes, writing a book, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, that's the kind of thing that people could definitely identify with, and people all already do. People, you know what I mean? If you go to YouTube, you can search plenty of videos about people traveling here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. But what I really want you to concentrate on is this story right here, because I feel like this will be part of your, it releasing it out of your system, and you know what I mean, and it making it work for you, because this story is definitely important. Your story is definitely important. Like I said, raising, deciding to have your baby, and just on your own, herbally, naturally, just on your own. That alone is a story that needs to be told. Never mind the fact that, the battles that you fought with family, and then and then still fighting with family, because of course they still want you to come back to the what they decide is normal, as far as doing it the regular way, going to the doctor, having the child in a school, and being part of the matrix, as Ruby likes to say. You know what I'm saying? That all of that is what you're battling. You're battling doing it your way, and of course, it's hard to find a community that's definitely about that. That type of lifestyle. So, and that also could be included in the book too, because one of the things you definitely got to do, and especially like you said, put it out on your social media so that you can not only start or get involved in a community that is all about that. It's all about doing it in a natural way. Even if there ain't no community like that, shit, that you the perfect one to start it. You're the perfect one to start it, to say that what I do is I live holistically. I live naturally, and my natural life is about this and this and this and this. And yes, be prepared, and and be very thick-skinned about the haters, because best believe, as soon as you start a YouTube channel or like a social media movement based on this, holistic natural life, trust and believe, it's going to be haters. It's going to be motherfuckers. Just like your mother-in-law decided to write you an email, it's going to be a whole account with a whole psalm verse look like in the comment, telling you how your life is wrong, and what is wrong with your life, and what kind of hippie shit is you on. That's the kind of, you know what I mean? You got to be then thin-skinned to be enough to be like, okay, I'm reading your comment, I could respond, or I could just delete and block your ass, because I don't really fuck with you. I don't really fuck with bitches like you. You know what I mean? Because that's what I do. You know what I mean? I have people, because of course, not only do I do Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, but I also have my own YouTube channel. And in my YouTube channel, I just post about whatever the fuck I want. And, I have people jumping in the comments talking all kind of hella shit. And I'll read it. Sometimes I respond, and sometimes I just delete and block to let them know, like, you meant nothing.
They want you.
You meant nothing. Moving on. Hair flip. You know what I mean? But that's what you I believe that your next move is. And I think that's what's going to also be a part of your self-care, self-love, self-upliftment movement, you know what I mean? Right, and not only writing a book about what's going on with you, but also, you know, even being the first one, you know, if not while you out there looking for a community that supports, you know, your type of lifestyle, shit, be the one to start the community. You know what I mean? And just be ready to have either answers for the haters or delete and block strong for the haters, because they're gonna come. They're gonna come. You know what I mean?
I got like 28. Last I checked, I have 28 blocked messages from my partner's grandmother. And
28 blocked messages.
Yeah, last I checked.
Girl, what is you writing me for? I clearly don't care you live. But okay.
It's been like a couple months.
Make yourself happy. Keep typing, girl. Keep typing.
I know. I'm like, wow, like, and it stemmed from me asking for help. It stemmed from me asking for help.
But see, that's the thing, honey. That's the thing. Because you know what I mean? I myself am going through a situation right now where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, family expects me to ask for help. They expect that, you know, they know I'm in a situation and they expect me to ask for help. And as soon as I ask for that help, there's going to be this condescending judgment conversation as you giving me the help. And instead of going through that, no, I'm going to find strangers. I'm going to go find strangers. I'm going to research a way. I'm going to get this. I'm going to make sure and have, you know, the spirits guide me and take me through the road that's going to have me get help without all this judgment and as fuck shit. Because what we not going to do is because again, you should like, I'm like you should get the help. And people should just be, you know, encouraging you as they give you help, instead of sitting there, well, you should have, because now I got to help you because you was doing this and now you want to. No, all this neck shaking, you don't need that. All of that is detrimental to your positive movement to what you need to do. And the fact is, none of that is teaching you anything about what you need to do. You know what you got to do. You're in your situation, so you know how to move in order to make things better. All you need is somebody to come help you and just recognize that you're not sitting around trying to be lazy on the shit. You actually doing something, or in action, or in full active action in order to get your situation straight and make yourself better. So therefore, I need you to meet me with the same energy that I'm giving you, without all this yappa and the side talk you gotta have. I don't really need all that yappa side talk. And honestly, the best way, at least for me, the best way I've been able to do it is just seek it from strangers, because strangers will really give you the fucking line and understand where you coming from. Because 9 times out of 10, they've been where you been. And so and they avoided the fuck out of the yappa side talk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fact that you said how many emails from how many blocked emails, and you still say, girl, who is you typing to? Who is you typing to, honey? Stop. Rest your fingers. Rest your fingers, honey.
I was like, husband, I think you should handle that. I think now is the time.
I mean, for real, go rest your fingers. Cause I ain't here for nothing you got to say. You know what I'm saying? But for real though, real talk, sometimes you might have to just, you know, go outside of family, and then and it's not even about proving the family that you can do it, because it's like, no, you got to get to a point where it's like, first and foremost, this is me and this is who I'm gonna be regardless. I don't really give a fuck how you feel about it. It is what it is. As long as I'm happy with me, fuck you if you ain't happy with how I am. That's one. Two, you gotta love me or leave me alone, like the motherfucking song. You gotta love me or leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna change or down myself or quiet my shit down to make you feel better, make you shine. I ain't finna do none of that bullshit. And again, if you gonna help me, if you fucking with me, fuck with me. But if you're not fucking with me, it's all good. Nothing about you not fucking with me ain't gonna get what I need done. What? What happened? I said nothing about you not fucking with me ain't gonna stop what needs to be done to get done. It's gonna get done regardless. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really, going outside of your family, not fucking with people that you know for a fact going to try to, fill you with judgment while they try to call them self-help. Trust me, it's not even about proving them wrong. It's about showing them like, I got this. I've been got this. And if you notice that I got this, that's good for you, but I don't really give a fuck what you notice. It ain't really my job to be worried about what you notice. You know what I'm saying? If you happen to notice, that's cute. But best believe I'm handling my shit over here. You know what I mean?
So like now I've been focusing on me and I'm like, fuck it. I'm in my fuck it attitude. And I basically to everyone except for me and my daughter. And I'm leaning back on my ordained license, so like I can perform marriages, and then like so now I'm like totally like I want to be like a blunt rolling reverend.
Oh man, that would be cool. That would be fucking cool. Because I mean, the fact is, potheads get married. And I've seen some pothead weddings, or you know what I mean, where the cake got pot in it, and everybody's got little sign on, and where the husband got something. Everybody is having fun. You know what I mean? Everybody's smoking. So that definitely in this growing cannabis business, that definitely be something that you could travel and do. You know what I mean? And then on top of the fact, like I said, this a book from you just to release your soul and put your soul on paper. Hey, it's all about, I mean, literally, and you don't even gotta, I mean, because as a writer, I can tell you that you don't even gotta worry about structure and this and that. Like, I mean, yes, you gotta be correct with grammar and shit. You damn sure gotta be correct with grammar. But at the same time, putting your words on paper is one thing. The main things of producing a book is 1, putting your thoughts on paper, 2, getting a great editor, 3, and then 3 is getting somebody to do your book cover design. Once you got all those 3, you good. And hiring great editors are not is not expensive. It's definitely reasonable. You know what I mean? Cover designer is definitely reasonable. Shit, there's programs like Canva that you can make your own fucking cover. You don't need a motherfucker to make a cover for you. You can make your own cover. And then boof, you put those 3 together, you put it on Amazon as a digital and a hard copy. Man, listen, you can do that as a self-published author in nowadays. Definitely, you can. You know what I mean? You don't gotta. You could look for a publishing company to publish your shit, but the fact is, once the book is out, you sharing whatever monies you make on the book with them. If you self-publish, that's all you. That's all you. The only people you sharing monies with is with Amazon, because Amazon is definitely wants a cut for putting the book on Amazon, definitely. But Amazon ain't greedy. Amazon ain't going. Amazon gonna maybe take 30%. That's it. You got 70. That's, you know what I mean? And again, your story is important. Your story, and this is definitely something that needs to be heard in this growing cannabis, industry. women definitely are a part of the industry. We definitely intake cannabis, and we also, you know what I mean, have gone through psychological situations based on cannabis. And you know what I mean, telling a story about a woman, you know, raising her baby, you know, going through pregnancy and fighting her family, and you know what I mean, just, you know, dealing with that on a everyday basis, and trying to find a community to support her on a, you know, on a genuine basis, not financial, just emotional and spiritual. Like, that's a story right there. That's an important story that you got to tell, honey. You absolutely should get to writing that book immediately. You know what I mean? That's something that definitely would help you and
Definitely
would help
a
women in
story.
our community. Absolutely.
You're right. Yeah, I remember. So another thing after I gave birth, another big ordeal for a lot of people, family and not, was the fact, the whole thing about a birth certificate. You guys, there's a thing called Google, Google. Google. It's been around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, a monkey could figure this out. You know, birth certificate in your state, you look it up. They have documents. You go to get notarized. You have witnesses. But before all that, I was deemed that I was going to provide my child a horrible future if I did not get a birth certificate. Like, I just gave birth. I'm pretty sure she's not going to need a birth certificate, and it's just not normal. It was not normal for me to feel like I needed to get a birth certificate. I'm not thinking about a birth certificate. I just, to point out after I give birth that I'm going to be setting my child up for a huge failure in life if I didn't, you know, what if, and everyone's like, what if something happens? What if something happens? Well, what if something happens? Well, y'all clearly live in fear. Fear. That's another word y'all can Google. And that's another word y'all can really heal, because I don't live in fear. And it ain't, if y'all didn't want to, you know, get to know me, I don't live in fear. I lived in fear. I lived in fear from the ages of 9 and 21. 9 and 21. I lived in fear my whole life. And to throw more fear onto me after I give birth. Like, people, what are you guys doing? So you're right. I do have a story. I have a lot to say, and I'm afraid to use my voice. So, like, being on your podcast has been a huge step for me. And
Nice.
watching you has been a huge inspiration, just because you put yourself out there. And I didn't grow up with confident women. I grew up with very closed, silent, you know, hide behind a man type of woman.
Right.
And I don't know how to project my voice. And, you know, as I grew older, I've had to train myself. I put myself in Toastmasters. I thrived in public speaking as an adult, college student. I'm showing up in these spaces,
Right.
and I'm connecting with people to exercise my voice. And after I gave birth, writing had completely stopped. So it's been, I have lost the words to describe everything, because I'm still, I think, dealing with processing how everyone just didn't want to show up.
Right.
Where everyone decided, like, oh, I don't know how to show up for you. You're too out of the norm.
Now that makes sense. Now that makes sense. It's for them that, because they're so into, you know, they're so into what's what they deem is normal, that they don't know how to, support your, your lifestyle and how you're going about things. Now, I gotta ask about the birth certificate thing, definitely, because while I understand, you know what I'm saying, for, because, I guess I would think, if you're not planning to put the child in any kind of type of daycare or anything of that situation, you know what I mean, or and if the child, and if you definitely never take the child to the doctor, then they definitely, for those two situations, I would see that, yeah, they probably, a birth certificate is just paperwork. But my thing is this, my question is this something that you were planning to continue all through, all through the child's life? Like was you trying to do the homeschooling thing, and just how was you planning to continue it in the child's life with when it came to those situations? Because I know for, because like I said, in like in daycares, and you know what I mean, and like any type of child activity, they want, all of them places, they want paperwork in order to identify, who to call for emergencies and all that hot shit. So how to what extent was you taking this to?
So we can, gently back up. So going into this, I did not really research anything. I did light research throughout my pregnancy, just to validate myself, to reassure myself, to reassure other people. I did that. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I'm in control. I feel okay. And if I don't feel okay, then my intuition's telling me to gravitate. And I gravitated to natural remedies like red raspberry leaf tea. And so even up until birth, I had only, I think, watched like a few videos of a woman actually give birth. And I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. And clearly I was worried about the feelings. Like, I can see it. That's what I know what's going to happen. Like, ain't no one taught me how to have sex. So ain't no one he needs to teach me how to give birth, and I'm in control. So I didn't really have too much like background. And with the birth certificate, I was like, well, I understand it's there, but why? Like, does anyone, like, I wanted to know why, like, what's the purpose? How, like, does it really matter? And it didn't. I had a whole year after I gave birth in the state of Washington to take care of my birth certificate. And if I didn't, then it was just going to be like a little bit more paperwork and an extra fee, because, I didn't do it within their guidelines. But like, naturally, I'm not thinking of a piece of paper. And I was actually going to, I was planning my life to live with my child. I was planning to work from home. I was planning to have the parents close. I was planning to work with my child, to teach her, to be in spaces with other people, different cultures, to travel. I was just teaching her how to be human. I did not want to put all these pressures of, you need to learn this, and you need to, you need to be looking like this and matching up with the charts. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're not cattle. We're not specimens. We're beings. And I'm from New York, so like all of this just came out of, I don't know. It just happened. I'm not like some hippie, and like, so what? Like, who cares? Like, we're just beings. I'm returning back to my humanity.
I feel it.
And I just wanted people to see that, like, to see how men treat the woman, or, and I also am very, you know, I'm very gender diverse, and I first had reached out to I think a gender diverse doula, and she actually didn't want to really work with me because she was geared to that community. And I was like, wow, like I didn't even know.
Right.
And I was very ignorant. And so like that opened up a lot of compassion, because like I'm a mother, and like to be in that position as a transgender, a non-binary,
Right.
a different, you know, identifying individual, like to be in a space where you're going through something like that, and to not have any support through such a process, no matter how you identify, you have the ability to give birth,
Right.
and that will never be taken away from us, no matter how you identify.
Right.
How you identify does matter. As much as all our lives matter, those people matter too.
Definitely.
And I learned that through my process of being pregnant, because I also deal with a lot of suicide ideation, and I had a period of time where I was sent to a 24-hour holding in a psychiatric up in Rochester, New York,
Wow.
before I had left Nevada, or before I left the state to Nevada. And the majority of the people in there were the trans community, and they were the first people to console me. Nobody was interested in talking to me except for them.
Right.
And they say they're in here because they've been turned away from the community.
Right.
They've been turned away from their parents, their friends.
Exactly.
And it's just over how they identify. And I'm like, we're all humans though. And I really wanted, I think, for everyone to just realize that we're all humans, we all bleed the same, we all shit the same, and we all fucking smoke cannabis the same. If you really, you know, like, come on. And like it's such I had such a revelation, like, of my ignorance of other individuals. And I still love the people that don't support me, but do I want them near me? No. Did I let them near me and they hurt me? Yes. But I learned that lesson. I learned that I have poor boundaries, but they don't have to agree with me. They don't have to even show up to support me, but I can meet them at their humanity. I can show up to give them grace, and I can have compassion for them, no matter how much they're willing to harm me. And I think that's the message that I want to put out there is, we're always going to come with people with hate. You know, I do it. I hate people that destroy the earth, that have, you know, abused me, neglected me. But I can choose either to continue with that hate and disconnection, or I could say, well, I could realize you have a very limited and small capacity and you have a lot of work to go, but I'm here, and it's all peace and love.
Exactly.
And if you need somebody, guess who's going to be there? Guess who's going to be there?
Exactly.
Me. People like me. People are like, yes, I don't care what you've done. I will feed you. You want to rest? You want to fucking smoke? Open arms, baby.
Exactly.
So like, I love where I'm at. Even though it's pretty dark sometimes, it's pretty.
I mean,
pretty
we all have,
violent,
you know, those dark
but
moments, you know what I'm saying? We all have dark moments within our lives that, you know what I'm saying, we all got to get through, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing, that every day we got to find a new way to get through. And we definitely are glad as a podcast, you know, that, you know, we because this space is not just for, you know, everybody that we talk to. This space is also for us to feel free to express whatever's going on with us. And you know what I mean? And the dark spaces in you know what I mean? For Ruby, for example, I mean, she ain't here, but I could speak of for the fact that, you know what I mean, that right now, you know, she lives in Oregon. You know what I mean? She's in a new state. She's, you know what I mean? She's got kids that are definitely under 10. And you know what I'm saying? So she's got a lot of things that she got to go through. And you know what I mean? Even on previous podcasts, she described, you know, a situation where, you know, she's upset, and you know the kids are, you know, they're running around doing crazy stuff, and then you know the small baby's crying, and it's like she don't know which way to turn. But at the same time, we find a way to handle that, and then handle ourselves and move on. You know what I mean? Pressure, like I told you, pressure make diamonds. We got to make diamonds on a constant goddamn basis, because diamonds is a girl's best friend. Never mind the fact that we got to keep going. We got to keep going. We have things in our situation. You know, I look at it like I always got shit to do. Like I got something to do. I got things that I gotta handle. I got kids that gotta be raised. Like I need to see everybody as grown ass people. You know what I mean? My oldest daughter, even though she swear up and down she ain't gonna have no babies, I want to see her pregnant one of these days. Like I need, you know what I mean? And I gotta be around to do that. So and in order to be around, I gotta encourage myself to keep going, even when shit is not going the way I want it to go. You know what I mean? And I absolutely want to, you know what I'm saying, I'm so glad for the fact that, you know, that me and you got connected, and you know you was able to connect with this space. And I really want you to really take the time to think about, you know, the kind of things you need to do to you know, make yourself, to encourage yourself on a daily basis. Like you mentioned that you stop writing after you give birth. You know what I mean? Even if it's a paragraph, you know, a day, it don't matter. It don't matter how long it takes to write the motherfucking book. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be 200 pages, 300 pages. You know? It has to, as long as you get all the thoughts, all the emotions, everything out of you and put it on that paper. You know what I mean? That's the important part. And like I said, even if it's a paragraph a day, a paragraph a week, even, fuck it. You know what I mean? Do it.
Right,
because that's how, you know what I mean. And like I said, start putting it out in your community, if you know, to find more people that live the holistic life that you know that you are seeking to live, to, you know, so that you can get that type of encouragement, you know what I mean, from people that actually live like you, because you ain't the only one that's living like that. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely ain't. And if you are, this is a great goddamn time to you know what I mean, to start a community to the point where, you know, you're the first one to you know, face the battle of, you know, society in itself going through that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Society in itself, you know what I mean? Well, it's gonna come at you. There gonna be people that, you know, just like your family, that are gonna come at you and write whole fucking paragraphs of how much they hate what you're doing, and how much and statistics shown, and this and that. It's gonna be some motherfuckers even talking about statistics. But at the end of the day, you got to stand firm, stand thick in your skin, and say, this is my life. This is how I want to live it. And I want to build a community that encourages this type of life. I want to be part of a community that encourages this, because I know there are other women that feel like how I feel. There are other women that want to walk this path but are scared because they know that society is going to shut them down. Just like you said, it wasn't just your side of the family; it was his side of the family coming at you with the extra. You know what I mean? Everybody's still coming at you with the extra, but you are insisting in living in your truth. You are insisting in walking in that path. You ain't changing your mind. You ain't bending because a motherfucker tells you to bend. No,
Right.
you want to do this, and you want people to see that this is a good choice, and if others want to join in that choice or learn about that choice, or you know what I mean, or if there's somebody out there that's currently living in that truth, can join in with you. It's just it's just like any type of any type of situation that comes out that people don't automatically understand. People will jump in and talk all kind of crazy shit to you, but at the end of the day, as long as you believe in what you believe in, and this is working in your life, and you want this community around you, you got to either seek it or build it. And write that book, girl. Write that motherfucking book. Write that motherfucking book, like I told you. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? It's crazy because when I think about it, it literally just cost us like $150 to give birth, because I had did it in a hotel, and that's how much it costs for the night. So like I mean
that alone is funny as hell, because real talk, I don't remember how much thousands of dollars the hospital charged me to do whatever they did in order to get me from birth to kicking me out with with the baby. You know what I'm saying? Again, we all know those type of hospital charges. If you don't got health insurance, them things is $4,000, $20,000, $30,000, all kinds of crazy dollars that they really shouldn't be charging people.
Yeah, there's really shouldn't
be charging people. So you found a whole way around it, and again, your baby is happy, healthy, and is living the holistic life, and it is your written proof, your actual fucking proof that life works. So trust and believe. If, like I said, if there's no community, I refuse to believe ain't no community out there like you. There definitely is. And all you got to do is do your research, put yourself out there, and look for that community. And if you can't find it, ain't nothing wrong with building it your motherfucking self. Ain't nothing wrong with starting it your motherfucking self, because that will be that will be the path that will make sure and back up everybody. And at the end of the day, like I said, sometimes help, you know what I'm saying, knowing, asking for help from someone that you know is going to pass on the help with a little bit of judgment, a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of extra fucking solicited advice. Fuck them people, B. Fuck them people. Straight up and down. Fuck them people, even if they family. Fuck them people, yo. Because like I said, I myself am right now in a situation where I dead ass have to be like, nah, I already figured it out myself. I'm gonna figure it out, my situation myself. And when you come around and ask me, do I need help? Nah, I'm good, player. What's up? What? Nah, I never asked you because I didn't need it. I'm chilling. I got it. I figured it out. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? So you didn't ask? No, I didn't ask you for shit. I figured it out on my own. Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? I learned that's what I need to do. Figure it out on my own and not tell you a motherfucking thing. Because when I tell you something, you decide to add extra fucking sauce that I ain't asked for. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying for extra sauce. I ain't asked for extra sauce, but you're going to deliver the extra sauce. And because I'm going to make sure and let you know that I don't want none of your fuckery ass sauce, I figured it out on my own. Y'all. The fuck? The fuck?
Where do we find your books? How do I find your book? On Amazon?
On Amazon, sure. I'll definitely send you the link with no problem. Absolutely.
Is it under Kai Storm or the other name?
No, it's under Kai Storm, definitely. Okay. Under Kai Storm, definitely. The only reason I actually, honestly, with the Fab Over 40 contest, I didn't even realize when I joined it. I just, I figured, okay, the prize says something about $40,000. Okay, I ain't gonna get $40,000. If I win, I ain't gonna get $40,000 if I tell them a fake name. No, because then they gonna ask for ID, and then and then that's gonna be a problem. The check gonna have the wrong name. No, so I just decided, okay, I joined it and entered my name. But then when when it was time to get votes, and I saw my name up there, I was like, wait a minute. Can I change that? I was like, yo, can I change that real quick? Wait. No, because a lot of people don't know that my name is Jennifer and Ford, like the car company. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. Only people that grew up with me know that. Wait a minute. And literally, I went back to, there's a little button on the side where it said edit your profile. I kept hitting that edit profile. That shit refused to answer me. I was like, oh. So I gotta tell the people that my name is Jennifer Ford. I gotta tell. All right, cool. Because I gotta get votes. Because I gotta win that
story.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Story behind the name.
I'm just gonna tell people that's my name because I really want that 40 racks. Out of all the prizes you talking about, because there's 3 prizes. There's a vacation and a photo shoot in a magazine. The 40 racks. I want the 40 racks. I don't. Out of everything you talking about giving away, I want them 40 racks. I need them 40 racks. Yes, do. Absolutely.
I hope.
No, yes, my books are under my name. I'll gladly send you a link. You know what I mean?
All right, cool.
And like I said, honey, I definitely, on all jokes aside, one of the things that Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana can definitely say that when we hear, anybody come on our show talk about, certain things, certain things within their lives, we definitely, if there's a way to make money out of what they have said, we definitely have encouraged people to get to that bag. You know what I mean? There's, for example, there was one chick we interviewed that, the reason why I asked her to be on the show was because I saw her on Twitter and she was always, on Twitter with just, wearing nothing from top up, but just some pasties on her boobies. And I was like, girl, you need to sell those and the reason why she was doing it was because she wanted, people to encourage body positivity. Like, let's not be, trying to, doctor up our titties and doctor up our stomachs and all of that foolishness. Let's love ourselves for ourselves. And I was like, and when we invited her to our show, I was like, girl, you need to sell those. You need to just write some little words on them, whatever, and sell those, because why not? People will buy them. And when I tell you she turned it into a business, she damn sure did turn it into a business. Wow. And when she told us about it, we was like, oh hell yeah, we were very proud that, you know what I mean, we gave her that idea to like, girl, just
Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana ones,
and just write like
MSM ones.
We love weed, some shit like that. I don't know. Write something and start selling them shits. And girlfriend really turned it into a business. And
so, logo.
So when I tell you that your story definitely needs to be written, it needs to be in a book ASAP, as soon as you can. Even like I said, even if it's a paragraph a day or paragraph a week, get it in. You know what I mean? While the baby is taking a nap, while you outside, you know what I'm saying? Start, you could, you don't even gotta, have yourself a computer. There's plenty of times I've written, you know what I'm saying? When I get an idea to write something, I'll send it to myself in an email. Like, that's a way to protect your copyright too. Not for nothing. That's a way to protect your copyright. You sending yourself an email of your shit. Nobody can steal your shit because this is mine. See, I got an email for myself, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, you know what I mean? These are the kind of things you got you on your phone. You promoting on social media. Write a little paragraph. Get that story out, because that story is important. It's definitely a way to, you know what I mean, to get yourself in the game of, researching that community that you need to live in, the community that, you need to get support from. That'll put you in the game of getting to that. You know what I mean? And even talking about it on social media, like, looking, expressing that you're searching for such, certain things, certain people, people will reach out. People will definitely reach out. You know what I mean? And shit, being on this show, of course, when we put it out, people, go and check out the episode. You know what I mean? Again, as long as you're doing what you're doing to, express how you want to live, and working to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yes, deal with the pressure, deal with the 7 pounds of pressure, and work through that motherfucker. Box that shit through. You know what I mean? And make those motherfucking diamonds. And when the people are sending 50 odd, 80 odd, 100 odd blocked emails, you're still looking at them like, who are you talking to? I don't know you, lady. I don't know you. I say I don't know you. Why you keep talking to me? Stop it. Go away. I'm over here winning. Excuse me. I'm over here winning. I'm over here handling. I'm over here minding my business. My child, you see her, she is thriving. She is learning. She is a bright child. What the fuck? And she didn't had nothing to do with nothing that had to do with you. Fuck out of here. Again, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Don't speak on it. Just get it in, get in that mode, and you know what I mean? And put it out there. And trust and believe that's what the spirits around you gonna bring you. Definitely. You know what I mean?
Agree. Yes.
Definitely.
I'm gonna try to work for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I can't tell you. Matter of fact, we already discussed the reasons why Ruby ain't show up, but it's all good. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we gotta kind of end the show right here, because I got another recording I gotta get to. You know what I mean? But of course, you are always welcome back on the Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast. You know what I mean? Your success is definitely important to us. And of course, when you get to starting this book, this is a platform that you could definitely come back and talk about it once the book is out. You know what I mean? Once you find that community, you could definitely come back here and talk about it and express how it's going, and the benefits of finding others that that are like-minded as you. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely something you could come back, and anytime you could come back to talk about. Know what I mean?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. So have a good week. Cheers to you and Fab 40. Woo.
Absolutely. And, shit, I'm trying to run that 40 racks, babe. Yeah. I'm hoping by the time the next time I talk to you, that I'll be telling you, oh yeah, I'm getting closer to that 40 racks. I'm definitely getting closer to that 40 racks.
Top five.
You know what I mean? Top 5 indeed. And on that note, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, and the building. All right. Thank you for being on the show, Queen. Make sure and let us know whatever's going on with you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, now.